Coming up on Ag Week TV, one of the region's biggest farm shows, Big Iron, was in West Fargo this week. We'll show you what's new. How does the farm crisis compare to the 1980s? We'll take a closer look.
On the Soil Health Minute, we'll take a look at a diverse cover crop mix on Prevent Plant.
The new Animal Research and Diagnostic Lab here at SDSU will bring great benefits to livestock producers in the state and region. Welcome to Ag Week TV. I'm Michelle Rook. Thanks for joining us here at the 39th Annual Big Iron Farm Show in West Fargo. The show spans 200 acres, features 900 plus exhibits, and brings in 70,000 attendees from across the U.S. and several countries. With the depressed farm economy, trade war, and challenging growing season, the interest in farm shows has been down this year by both attendees and exhibitors.
It's not like it used to be. It's a little quiet, which I guess is understandable. You still need to maintain that exposure, you know, whether it's a great show or not. You got to be there so people can see what you have.
This is our local show, so it's always the best one. So it's been better than any of the other ones. Some of the other ones, the price is so high that it gets hard to justify it.
Big Iron organizers say all spots were full again this year, but there's no longer a waiting list like past years.
There's some of these people that have been in spaces for like 30 some years and they don't want to lose their spots. I might not get as many sales as I have in the past, but I need to be there because it's important to us as a business.
Joining us is Martin Barbary. He's RMA administrator, and we just got an announcement from USDA about how the $3 billion of disaster assistance is going to be applied towards prevented plant, and there is going to be some additional coverage, right?
Yes, absolutely. There will be a payment. Producers who have prevent plant coverage with crop insurance will receive a 10% plus up on their indemnity on the actual dollar. So if your dollar payment was $200, you'll get $220. If you have what we call a revenue policy, RP policy, which includes the HPO option, you will get an additional 5%. So it will be 15% instead of 10.
And Martin, what are you seeing in terms of prevented plant claims that are coming in?
Yeah, you know, we're up at about $2.5 billion in paid claims. We anticipate another, we don't know for sure, at least maybe another billion, maybe two. We don't know yet. We don't know how many claims are actually still out there. We're paying about $500 million a week out right now, so it's growing pretty fast.
So when we talk about prevented plant acres that are going to be used, how do you rectify all of that?
You rectify it at the end. We don't put them out until they're accurate. We don't know when that'll be, maybe a month, 6 weeks from now even yet, before we have a good handle on what actually acres are. We like to say, we know numbers of claims filed, but that's really not a number that tells us much of anything.
Well, we appreciate all the updates today. Thanks so much. Yep. Martin Barbary, RMA Administrator. After visa problems reduced the size of the 2018 International Visitors Program, the North Dakota Trade Office worked with the U.S. Commercial Service Office in Fargo on new recruiting efforts. This year, the work paid off. This year's delegation included more than 100 visitors from more than 15 countries. The efforts are important during a difficult time in trade.
It's really great to still be able to bring a large delegation back and keep the relationships growing and the communication happening and keep trade going with our trading partners, and also trying to look at new markets for a lot of our businesses.
The largest delegations came from Romania, Russia, Ethiopia, Uruguay, and Kenya. Time is money for farmers, and more efficient equipment can save both. Rose Dunn joins us now with a new piece of tillage equipment showcased here at Big Iron, designed by farmers.
Behind me is Summers Manufacturing's new VRT Renegade tillage tool. What's unique about it is that operators can change their tillage aggressiveness on the go with just a touch on the iPad. That not only makes it easy to use, it reduces erosion and saves fuel. It can also be preset for different fields or different applications, or changed on the fly.
It's allowing them to work the ground the way they want to work the ground. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Farmers want the option of making choices about how to take care of the soil.
Johnson says the idea for this tool came from farmers and the design was refined by farmer focus groups. And he says shows like this are a great way to get ideas and feedback from the people who use the equipment.
Still ahead on Ag Week TV from Big Iron, we'll look at how today's ag economy compares to the farm crisis of the 1980s.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow pump features neoprene-lined turbine bearings backed up with a sand collar to prevent debris and grit, all to assure your pump keeps working season after season. Find out more at dynaflowpump.com.
Welcome back to Big Iron in West Fargo. The current farm economy has some people comparing it to the last big farm crisis in the early 1980s. Then and now, government trade actions had a direct and devastating effect on American farms. Mikkel Pates joins us now with the first part of a three-part series on the 80s farm crisis in this week's cover story.
Michelle, the circumstances of today's trade war are different, but in many ways the outcome is the same.
We wanted to punish Russia, whereas we want to threaten China. Slight difference. I know it probably sounds the same, but they're slightly different.
NDSU ag economist Bill Wilson draws comparisons between President Carter's Russian grain embargo in 1980 and President Trump's current trade war with China, which is focusing on soybeans.
This is 2018, so you can see the fall in futures prices in 2018. That's the trade war. Here's the same thing in wheat. You can see this peak right here and the fall in 1980. That was the embargo.
The causes were different. In 1980, the U.S. was punishing Russia for the invasion of Afghanistan. In China, it's an effort to change trade policies, but the outcome has been the same.
In Russia, they discovered near instantaneously that they had numerous sources of alternatives. Unbeknownst to us, we thought we had a monopoly in Russia.
In addition, Russia increased its own production, so that region now grows half of the world's wheat, taking away what were U.S. markets. The same has happened in China, which is now sourcing soybeans from other countries.
And that's why these are so devastating times for American agriculture.
Wilson says America has many advantages over international competitors, including cost, logistics, supply, and technology. So when things go well, the farm economy thrives. But when there are interventions like embargoes or trade wars, the advantages are lost, sometimes forever.
We're not going to return to normal because China is quickly learning that relying on us as a reliable trade partner is not very good. And if we got 100% of all the other importing countries, we would not displace what we lost to China.
Ronald Reagan ended the embargo the next year, but the damage was long-term. Michelle?
Thanks, Mikkel, and you can read much more about this in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Well, land values are always of interest to farmers, but especially in this low-price commodity cycle. With more on that topic, here's Jonathan Knutson.
Michelle, land prices vary from area to area, but 3 land specialists say overall land values and rental rates are resilient, which means they're basically holding steady or ticking higher. That may be surprising given poor crop prices, but some farmers are in good financial shape and interest rates on competing investments are poor.
You know, land has always historically been a very good investment, and there are people who have a lot of capital that is still able to be invested. So yes, those are our primary buyers. We still find that 70 to 80% of our land is being sold to active farmers.
Land prices aren't expected to drop sharply anytime soon. Michelle?
The ribbon cutting was held for the South Dakota Animal Disease Research and Diagnostic Lab in Brookings last week. With more than 500,000 tests run annually, the current lab had outgrown the space and needed modernization. The addition completes phase 1 of the project and holds great benefits for the livestock industry in the state and region. The new $59 million lab protects food safety and supports diagnostics with respect to animal diseases. Lieutenant Governor Larry Roden says as a livestock producer, he knows how critical sound animal health is for the state's herd.
There's nothing more frustrating than misdiagnosing a sick animal and then treating them and spending dollars and watching them die.
Several legislators helped secure state funding for the project as it's critical for the future of agriculture.
If we don't work with our ag industry, keep them at the forefront, keep livestock healthy, you know, crops and everything is in jeopardy if we don't have livestock.
State veterinarian Dr. Dustin Otokoven says the lab is part of the National Animal Health Laboratory Network, which helps detect significant animal diseases and keep commerce flowing if an outbreak occurs.
On a daily basis, there are tests run here that help ensure consumers and trading partners that the livestock and the products that are produced here are safe and healthy.
And SDSU President Barry Dunn says the facility will focus on research and testing to treat and prevent disease.
We do most of our work in this lab to monitor health before they get sick, to prevent this, not only the death, but to prevent the sickness.
Phase 2 of the project is to renovate the existing lab. Up next on AgweekTV, we'll tell you about a project to preserve the history of women in ag.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
It's the perfect time to get ready for harvest, and North Star Ag has the equipment you need to keep things running smoothly this season. We have a great selection of augers from Meridian and Wheatheart, as well as Batco and Unitube conveyors. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. And don't forget, North Star Ag has Meridian hopper bins for any size operation. See our complete new and used equipment inventory at northstarag.com or give us a call.
Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. So when conditions are right, be ready with genuine Case IH parts from Titan Machinery. Only genuine Case IH parts are engineered to keep your equipment running at peak efficiency when you're running around the clock. Don't risk your bottom line with off-brand parts that don't meet the same standards. Visit your local Titan Machinery dealership today to find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value and performance for your operation.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
A North Dakota woman is working to preserve an important piece of history, the women who helped settle the state and work beside their husbands on the farm. Jenny Schleck joins us now with more.
Sue Balcom wanted to recognize the women behind the plow before it was too late and their stories were gone forever.
The women behind the plow, they weren't always behind the plow. It's kind of metaphorical for how those men would not have survived on the plains without their wives.
Balcom was inspired to put together this book and photo exhibit when she realized the stories of the women who helped settle the prairie were quickly being lost and they weren't getting any recognition for their contributions to ag in the state.
All of a sudden I was hit with this need to find out more about how my family lived before electricity, or before they had roads and big box stores and they had to provide for their families.
The project was funded with grants from the North Dakota Historical Society and Tri-County Tourism Alliance. Balcom initially focused on the Germans from Russia she grew up with in central North Dakota, but she says it's really the story of all farm women. And Balcom says it's been a race against the clock.
And I got to get some of this information down before these people all die. It's so important that we carry on some of these traditions and don't let that disappear.
Women Behind the Plow is now also a documentary. It will premiere on Prairie Public on September 26th.
Thanks, Jenny. USDA's September supply and demand numbers were released this week. This is the first time actual field surveys were incorporated because of the late stage of the crop. USDA lowered corn yield 1.3 bushels per acre, which dropped production to 13.79 billion bushel, but ending stocks were raised to 2.19 billion bushels due to slower demand. Soybean yield was also lowered 0.8 bushels per acre, which pulled production down to 3.63 billion bushel, but the big drop came in new crop ending stocks down 115 million bushel. And USDA left wheat ending stocks unchanged at slightly over a billion bushels. It was a wet week across the area. Will that continue? Here's our AgriWeather outlook.
Had some wet and cool weather to kick off this month, and with that, a drought monitor, really not much to show you here across the northern plains and upper Midwest. Around the Devil's Lake Basin, a little bit of dry conditions to just near moderate there. Zooming out across the lower 48, a little bit more of the dry conditions around the Four Corners region. The southern plains dealing with just a few pockets of extreme to severe drought out there. But back to the northern plains and Midwest, it's just been wet and cool, so really not too much to show you here on the drought monitor. The pattern for the next week ahead, that warm weather is going to stick around for the plains toward the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region, East Coast, as we head throughout the days ahead. The hot weather will be way down in the southern plains. It's going to be a little dip in the upper atmosphere over the Rockies and eventually moving into the plains by Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. That'll bring a little bit cooler weather to the region. And as we head toward Friday and over the weekend, that'll kind of move through the upper Midwest and eventually push off toward the East Coast by next week. So there'll be a little swing in our weather change with the warm weather off toward our west. So the next week ahead, for the 22nd through the 28th, a little dip in the upper atmosphere will be kind of near the northern plains, having the jet stream right over the Dakotas, kind of past Minnesota there, and the cool air kind of filtering in very close to our region. We'll be watching for the potential for some frost to develop near the Great Lakes, and that may dip down into parts of the Midwest. Keep an eye on that. Precipitation this week, it is looking a little bit still on the wet pattern, even though we do have some warmer temps along the way. That could lead to some showers into next week near the upper Midwest with a little bit more activity along the eastern seaboard. So to recap things here, it is kind of still looking like a rainy September ahead for us. We got that mid-month warm-up. We'll be talking about the warmer temperatures in the plains, including the upper Midwest and northern plains and the Dakotas. And as we look ahead toward the end of the month, it will be just a little bit on the cooler side to close out and be watching for the potential for some frost.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Reichhardt, plug and play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrack guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series Rogators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes existing John Deere AutoTrack guidance systems to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com/greenfit.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand, or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow pump features neoprene-lined turbine bearings backed up with a sand collar to prevent debris and grit, all to assure your pump keeps working season after season. Find out more at dynaflowpump.com.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Joining us is Kurt Woolfolk. He is Senior Agronomist with the Mosaic Company. And tell us a little bit more about who the Mosaic Company is.
We're the largest concentrated phosphate and potash manufacturer in North America. We're a real leader in balanced crop nutrition and a global provider of P&K.
Balanced crop nutrition, give us a definition of what that means.
We spend a lot of time with the macronutrients in P&K, thinking about those for our crops. Too many times we don't think about the micronutrients. They're not micronutrients because they're less important. They're just as essential as the macronutrients, but they're really, they're needed in less amounts. Ounces per acre typically of uptake and removal versus when we talk about nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, it's typically pounds per acre. So big difference there.
So talk about what products Mosaic provides to help farmers achieve that balanced crop nutrition.
MicroEssentials SZ, for example, this is a phosphate source that is 12% nitrogen, 40% P2O5, 10% sulfur, and 1% zinc. It's quite unique. It's a superior phosphate source to most of your MAP and DAP type phosphate products, not only because of the way it's built with the fusion technology, but it has two forms of sulfur in it. It has the sulfate sulfur and the elemental sulfur, and that really gives it the unique characteristics, the features and benefits that add additional yield. Then we have Aspire. Aspire is a superior potash product because of boron. We have two forms of boron. We've got a fast release boron and a slow release boron. So when we look at various crops and we look at their micronutrient needs or nutrient needs throughout the growing season, it's important to teaspoon feed or be able to provide those nutrients when they're needed most. And so just as a couple examples, you know, the MicroEssentials SZ and the Aspire with the boron are two great examples of packages with micronutrients in them. Our third performance product is K-Mag. This is a naturally occurring product, mine in Carlsbad, New Mexico. It's a potassium magnesium sulfate, and there's a lot of situations where we've overlooked magnesium in some of our cropping systems, where we have a really sandy soil, what we call a low CEC soil, where K-Mag can really offer a lot of benefits and additional yield.
How do Mosaic performance products maybe work differently or better than some of our traditional fertilizer products?
So you have these micronutrients that are built into macronutrients. So we're using macronutrients basically as a carrier, and what we end up with is a much more even blanket or uniform distribution of these nutrients, both the macros and the micros.
All right, some great information today. Thanks for joining us. Kurt Woolfolk, Senior Agronomist with the Mosaic Company.
Still ahead on AgweekTV on the Soil Health Minute, we'll take a look at two options farmers use to cover up prevent plant ground.
Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We will sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Pete can keep a promise of his own, to build a profitable business with his kids and give them the opportunity to one day do the same with theirs. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
Ag Week is excited to bring you the Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you wherever you are. Download the Ag Week app today.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Ag Week magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Ag Week provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Ag Week. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Welcome back to Ag Week TV. On this Soil Health Minute, I want to show you how ideas discussed during a cafe talk in mid-June about cover crop options for Prevent Plant turn into on-farm practices. In this first field, we have a diverse mix of cover crops that were seeded on Prevent Plant. Sunflowers, we have peas, radish and turnips. I see some oats out here as well. And that all is working together to help build the soil and prepare it for next year's crop. The field looks really clean. I hardly see a weed out here, even though it's such a light seeding rate. 28 pounds per acre, so really not a high seeding rate, and probably about $20 an acre in cost. In the second field, where only cereal rye was used as a management for Prevent Plant, you can see that the farmer left themselves open to an option of a spray pass. So it's one of the things we talked about at the cafe talks, where if you seed a monoculture, then you can control broadleafs in a grass, or you can control grasses in a broadleaf. We've shown 2 different management approaches for Prevent Plant, a diverse mix and then also a monoculture, hopefully taking a bad year in 2019 and turning into a better year in 2020.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Ag Week TV from Big Iron in West Fargo. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the Ag Week app. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. And we invite you to join us next week.